Have you ever walked into a room and felt every eye examine you, sizing you up, deciding your worth in seconds? The gleam of polished mahogany stretches across Meridian Technologies' executive boardroom as Sophia Lynn steps through its towering doors. Her simple cotton blouse and modest slacks stand in stark contrast to the Italian suits and designer watches adorning the executives seated around the table. In Sophia's hands rests a tattered notebook, worn edges, faded cover, pages crinkled from decades of ideas flowing onto its surface. 20 years ago, she sketched the blueprint for what would become a billion-dollar empire in this very notebook. Now, it looks utterly out of place against the sleek digital tablets and premium leather portfolios surrounding her. A whisper cuts through the air. Then another. Soon, poorly concealed laughter ripples across the room as Senior VP Derek Harrison leans to his colleague. "Who let the intern in?" he jokes, loud enough for everyone to hear. Sophia's eyes remain fixed forward, her expression revealing nothing as she takes her seat. But in that moment of mockery, a calculation begins behind her calm exterior, one that will change everything about this room and everyone in it. Have you ever been judged by appearance alone? Dismissed before speaking a single word? Or perhaps you've witnessed someone's quiet dignity in the face of cruelty and wondered what strength keeps them standing tall. Before we witness what happens when those who judge based on appearance discover they've misjudged someone with the power to determine their futures, take a moment to subscribe to Scars and Stars. Our channel brings you powerful stories of unexpected triumph, moments where perception shatters and reality shifts in extraordinary ways. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell now. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next in Sophia's journey. Sophia Lynn was born to parents who crossed oceans carrying dreams bigger than their suitcases. Her father, Dr. Wei Lin, had been a quantum physicist at Beijing University, his research papers cited by colleagues worldwide. Her mother, Dr. Mei Lin, graduated top of her class in medical school. They arrived in America with advanced degrees and limited English, expecting their credentials would speak louder than their accents. Reality proved harsher. Within months, Wei's applications to research positions were rejected with polite emails citing lack of relevant experience. Mei discovered her medical degree required years of recertification she couldn't afford. The savings they'd brought dwindled rapidly. "Education is weightless," Wei told 7-year-old Sophia as he prepared for his night shift. "It's the one thing no one can take from you." By day, he studied English. By night, he cleaned corporate offices in Manhattan's financial district. Mei found work at a nail salon despite her surgeon's hands. They never complained, maintaining dignity in silence. Their small Queens apartment overflowed with books. Wei taught Sophia calculus while Mei quizzed her on anatomy. They continued learning even as the world refused to recognize what they already knew. The summer Sophia turned 14, her school schedule allowed her to accompany her parents to their cleaning job. While emptying trash bins on the executive floor, she heard laughter from a conference room with its door ajar. "Did you see the old guy's face when I told him he missed a spot? These people, I swear, PhD in physics but can't even empty a trash can properly." Another voice joined in, "The wife too, acts like she's too good for this. Someone should remind them this is America, their fancy Chinese degrees mean nothing here." Sophia watched her father's shoulders tense, then deliberately relax as he continued working, invisible to those inside. Her mother gently pulled her away, whispering, "Let them talk. We know who we are." That night changed Sophia. She witnessed how the powerful remained oblivious to the humanity of those they deemed beneath them. Her parents' knowledge, their brilliance, their worth, all dismissed because they emptied trash and vacuumed floors. Sophia graduated high school at 16 and earned a full scholarship to MIT. In her dorm room, she developed the algorithm that would become Meridian Technologies' foundation. By 25, she had transformed her startup into a major player in the tech industry, carefully maintaining her anonymity as the majority owner. At 42, Sophia still drives the same modest car her father left her when he passed away 5 years ago. She lives in a comfortable but unassuming apartment. Her closet holds quality basics rather than designer labels, not from necessity but choice. People reveal themselves when they believe no one important is watching, she often told Eliza Kapoor, her childhood friend and now legal counsel. The only person who knows she owns Meridian Technologies. 3 months ago, Sophia made an unusual decision. Before publicly stepping in as CEO, she would work within her own company as a mid-level product developer. No special treatment, no hints at her true identity. It's not just about business, she explained to Eliza. It's about understanding if people can change when confronted with their own cruelty. I need to know if what I'm building is worth saving or if human nature simply reinforces hierarchies no matter the environment we create. This personal experiment would either validate her life's work or force her to dismantle what she'd built. Either way, Sophia wanted truth, not comfort. The quarterly strategy meeting at Meridian Technologies carries a palpable weight today. The company faces a critical decision: either secure a 30% cost reduction in their cloud infrastructure or begin layoffs within the month. 8 executives occupy the sleek boardroom, each representing different departments, while several mid-level managers like Sophia sit against the wall, there to observe and take notes. Derek Harrison, Senior VP of Operations, commands the room from the head of the table. His custom suit, gold watch, and artificially whitened smile broadcast the confidence of someone who's never been told no. Our options are limited, Harrison announces. The board expects a solution by Friday. The discussion circles without progress. Sophia reviews calculations in her tattered notebook, then raises her hand. Harrison ignores her until the conversation stalls entirely. The woman in the target clearance rack has something to add, Harrison says with exaggerated politeness. Laughter ripples through the executive team. Sophia stands, voice steady despite the mockery. I've analyzed our cloud architecture and identified redundancies we can eliminate without compromising performance. My solution achieves a 42% cost reduction within 2 weeks of implementation. She walks to the whiteboard, explaining her approach with precise technical detail. The method is elegant in its simplicity, a restructuring that would save the company millions while improving overall system reliability. Harrison's smile hardens as he realizes her solution actually works. That's quite an accent you've got there. Where are you from again? The IT department or the janitorial staff? More laughter. Sophia continues, professional and focused. Forgive me, Harrison interrupts, but who invited you to speak? This is an executive meeting, not an open forum for support staff. I was asked to observe and contribute if relevant, Sophia responds. Harrison's executive assistant places a coffee before him. As Sophia finishes her presentation, Harrison reaches for his mug and knocks it over, deliberately. Dark liquid pools across her printed documentation. What a mess, he sighs, looking directly at Sophia. Would you mind cleaning that up? Since your people are good at that sort of thing. The boardroom falls silent before nervous laughter breaks out. One executive shifts uncomfortably but says nothing. Sophia observes each face, memorizing reactions. She walks to the credenza, retrieves a cloth napkin, and returns to the table. Without a word, she begins blotting the spilled coffee from her ruined documentation. There she goes, Harrison chuckles. Natural instinct, I suppose. As Sophia methodically cleans, something shifts in her expression, not anger or humiliation, but a clarity that comes from confirmation. She's seen this before. Lived this before. Through her parents' experiences and now her own. The executives quickly move on, dismissing her solution without further discussion. Sophia returns to her seat against the wall, notebook clutched in her hands. No one notices her take a small device from her pocket and place it beneath her chair. No one sees her press a button to activate it. No one realizes that in attempting to erase her, they've made themselves perfectly visible, their words, their laughter, their casual cruelty now preserved indefinitely. Sophia watches the meeting continue, her mind calculating possibilities with the precision of her father's mathematics. Following the boardroom incident, Sophia becomes a ghost in her own company. She arrives early, leaves late, and observes everything. Her notebook fills with dates, names, incidents, a meticulous record of Meridian's culture from the ground up. In the employee cafeteria, she notices the invisible boundaries. Executives never sit with support staff. In meetings, women's suggestions are overlooked until repeated by male colleagues who receive the credit. Non-native English speakers are interrupted constantly, their expertise dismissed despite superior qualifications. Just like the scientific method, she whispers to herself, echoing her father's words. Observe without interfering. Record without judgment. The data will reveal the truth. Sophia places small recording devices throughout the building, not for retribution but for documentation. In the third-floor women's restroom, she discovers Hispanic housekeepers are given half the time to clean twice the space as their counterparts on executive floors. In the parking garage, she learns security only escorts certain employees to their cars after dark, those who look like they belong. The most disturbing patterns emerge around Harrison. He systematically takes credit for ideas proposed by others, particularly women and minorities. Management tracks show his department has the highest turnover of diverse talent, yet his performance reviews praise his leadership and vision. 3 weeks after her presentation, Sophia stands frozen in a bathroom stall, struggling to breathe. A panic attack grips her chest as voices echo outside. Did you hear? Harrison's presenting that cloud infrastructure solution to the board tomorrow. The one from that Asian woman in product development? Yep. He's even using her exact diagrams. Called it the Harrison method. Word is, he's getting promoted to Chief Strategy Officer based on the projected savings. The voices fade. Sophia's hands shake as she recalls her father's final days. Cancer had taken his strength but not his mind. Power reveals who a person truly is, he told her. It doesn't change them, it unmasks them. Was she any different? Creating a company only to watch it recreate the same hierarchies, the same injustices? That evening, Sophia meets Eliza at a quiet cafe away from the office. This has gone far enough, Eliza says, reviewing Sophia's documentation. You're the majority owner. One word from you and Harrison is finished. The whole executive team can be replaced. Sophia stares into her tea. That's exactly what they would do, eliminate problems without addressing causes. They humiliated you. They're stealing your work. Tomorrow, Harrison presents your solution as his own and gets promoted for it. Eliza leans forward. If you wanted to observe the culture, you've done it. It's toxic. Clean house and rebuild. And what does that teach? That power simply changes hands but operates the same way. Sophia closes her notebook. There must be another approach. Eliza sighs. The board meeting starts at 10 a.m. Harrison's presentation is scheduled for 11:15. After that, the promotion announcement. Whatever you're planning, the clock is ticking. Sophia nods, a complex calculation forming behind her eyes. Have you ever stood at a crossroads where justice and mercy seem mutually exclusive? Where addressing wrongs might require becoming what you despise? Comment below on what you would do in Sophia's position, expose everything immediately or find another way forward. Your perspective matters to this community, and we'll explore the most thoughtful responses in upcoming videos. The morning of Harrison's presentation arrives with polished anticipation. Board members gather in the executive lounge for pre-meeting refreshments, a ritual of power conducted over premium coffee and pastries. Harrison stands at the center of an admiring circle, tablet in hand, rehearsing key points of his revolutionary solution. At exactly 10:05 a.m., the glass doors to the executive lounge slide open. Conversations pause as heads turn toward the entrance. Sophia Lynn steps through the threshold, transformed. Her simple attire replaced by a perfectly tailored charcoal suit that speaks of subtle wealth and refined taste. Her hair, normally pulled back in a functional ponytail, now frames her face in a sleek, professional cut. No flashy jewelry, no excessive makeup, just quiet, undeniable authority in every step she takes. The room falls silent, unable to place this familiar yet foreign presence. Eliza Kapoor walks beside her, carrying a leather portfolio embossed with Meridian's logo. As they approach the center of the room, Harrison's smile falters. Who invited product development to the board meeting? He attempts to joke, but his voice lacks conviction. Eliza clears her throat. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, executives of Meridian Technologies. Before today's official meeting begins, I'd like to introduce someone most of you have never properly met. She pauses, allowing the tension to build. This is Sophia Lin, majority shareholder of Meridian Technologies and your incoming Chief Executive Officer. The silence deepens as comprehension dawns across the room. Board members straighten, executives shift uncomfortably. Harrison's face drains of color as recognition flashes across his features. The woman he humiliated, whose work he claimed, whose intelligence he mocked, now holds his career in her hands. This is absurd, Harrison attempts to recover. I've never heard of any majority shareholder named Lin. Eliza opens her portfolio and removes the original company incorporation papers. Ms. Lin has operated anonymously since founding Meridian Technologies 20 years ago. Her ownership has never been publicized but has always been legally documented. The room erupts in whispers. Several executives begin forming explanations, excuses, apologies. Sophia raises her hand. The room falls silent immediately. Please, be seated, she says, her voice calm yet commanding. As everyone complies, she opens her tattered notebook, the same one that drew their mockery weeks before. My father arrived in this country with a doctorate in quantum physics, she begins. My mother was a surgeon. Within months, they were cleaning office buildings at night while being told their education meant nothing here. She turns a page in her notebook. When I was 14, I accompanied them to work. I heard executives mock them while they emptied trash cans. I watched my brilliant parents treated as invisible, their dignity intact even as they were dehumanized. Harrison shifts in his seat, his presentation forgotten. 3 months ago, I decided to work anonymously within my own company before taking the CEO position. I wanted to understand its culture from the inside, not as someone holds power, but as someone without it. Sophia nods to Eliza, who activates the room's display screen. Audio recordings begin playing, the boardroom coffee incident, hiring committee discussions dismissing qualified candidates with foreign names, casual jokes about cleaning staff, and those people. I've been recording everything, Sophia explains. Not for retribution but as a case study in corporate culture. What I discovered was that Meridian Technologies doesn't just need a new CEO. She closes her notebook. It needs a complete ethical reset. The board chairman clears his throat. Ms. Lin, we had no idea, that's precisely the problem, Sophia interrupts gently. When people believe no one important is watching, they reveal who they truly are. She stands and walks to Harrison, whose attempt at composure has dissolved into naked fear. You're presenting my cloud infrastructure solution to the board today, she states. The same solution you dismissed before mocking my accent and ordering me to clean your deliberately spilled coffee. The room collectively holds its breath. Here's what happens next, Sophia addresses everyone. I'm offering a choice to each executive in this room. Option 1, participate in restructuring Meridian's culture from the ground up, beginning with 1 month working in entry-level positions throughout the company. Experience firsthand how your decisions affect every level of operation. She pauses. Option 2, accept a generous severance package and depart immediately. Harrison finds his voice. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious, Sophia replies. This isn't about punishment. It's about transformation. The choice is yours. She turns to address the entire room. You have until 5 p.m. today to decide. Those choosing option 1 will report to HR tomorrow morning for their temporary reassignments. Those choosing option 2 will receive severance details from legal by end of day. Without waiting for responses, Sophia walks toward the door, then turns back. The board meeting is postponed until next week. We have more fundamental matters to address first. 6 months later, Meridian Technologies operates under different principles. The company's headquarters has undergone a physical transformation mirroring its cultural one. Glass walls replace closed doors, communal spaces encourage cross-department collaboration, and executive offices no longer occupy the top floor but are distributed throughout the building. Sophia walks through the customer service department, greeting employees by name. She pauses at a particular workstation where Derek Harrison, former senior VP, now handles customer concerns with unexpected patience. His designer suits replaced by the company's standard business casual attire, he guides an elderly client through a technical issue, his tone respectful and attentive. When the call ends, Harrison notices Sophia observing him. 6 months earlier, such attention would have triggered defensive arrogance. Today, he simply nods in acknowledgement. Most executives had chosen severance packages, departing with generous payouts and wounded pride. A few braved the temporary reassignments, emerging with fresh perspectives. Surprisingly, Harrison had been among them. I never expected him to stay, Eliza confides during their weekly lunch. Especially not after you assigned him to customer service. That's precisely why I placed him there, Sophia replies. Every policy he created affected these customers first. He needed to hear the consequences of his decisions in their voices. The company's transformation extends beyond physical space. Sophia implemented blind recruitment processes, removing names, gender indicators, and educational institutions from initial resume reviews. The maintenance staff now participates in board meetings when discussing workplace policies. Employee evaluation metrics include collaboration and mentorship alongside performance metrics. Most notably, Meridian established a scholarship program specifically for immigrants with foreign credentials, helping them navigate the recertification process American institutions require, a direct response to Sophia's parents' experience. Meridian's market value increased 27% since these changes began. Industry publications highlight the company as a case study in ethical profitability. Other tech firms have started adopting similar practices. Late one evening, as Sophia reviews quarterly reports in her modestly appointed office, a knock sounds at her door. Harrison stands in the threshold, hesitation evident in his posture. "Do you have a moment?" he asks. Sophia gestures to the chair across from her desk. "Of course." Harrison sits, studying his hands before meeting her gaze. "I've been working here 6 months since everything changed. Something's been bothering me that whole time." "What's that? Why did you give me a second chance? You had every reason to terminate me. The things I said, the way I treated you, and others." He shakes his head. "I wouldn't have shown the same mercy." Sophia considers him, then reaches for her father's tattered notebook. She opens it to a page filled with equations in faded ink. "My father wrote this while working as a janitor. Advanced quantum mechanics, solved between emptying trash cans. He never stopped being a physicist, even when the world refused to see him as one." She turns the page to reveal a quote written in careful Chinese characters, with English translation beneath: "The student cannot transform until the teacher believes transformation is possible." "My father never received the second chance he deserved," Sophia explains. "But he taught me something crucial: people don't change when shown their mistakes. They change when shown who they could become instead." Harrison absorbs her words, nodding slowly. "I don't think I've thanked you properly. Thank me by continuing to change. By remembering what you've learned when you eventually return to leadership." "If I return to leadership," Harrison corrects. "When," Sophia affirms. "Growth is the point, not punishment." Have you ever stood at the crossroads of justice and forgiveness? In your own life, when have you chosen mercy over retribution, or when have you wished someone had offered you a path to redemption rather than punishment? Share your reflections in the comments below. The conversation about breaking cycles of harm matters not just in dramatic stories like Sophia's, but in our everyday choices about how we respond when wronged. 1 year after Sophia's revelation, Meridian Technologies stands as a model of workplace transformation. Industry awards recognize its ethical leadership, business schools feature it in case studies. The press celebrates Sophia Lin as a visionary who redefined corporate culture through compassion rather than conquest. Yet beneath this narrative of redemption lies a more complex reality, one that Sophia contemplates during quiet moments alone. Was her approach truly compassionate, or was it a more sophisticated form of power? The recording devices, the month-long observations, the public revelation, all carefully orchestrated to maximize impact. Even her offer of redemption came with controlled conditions and supervised transformation. In board meetings, Sophia notices former executives who stayed now mirror her language about inclusion and respect. But do they genuinely believe these principles, or have they simply adapted to a new power structure with different rules? Has she truly broken the cycle of domination, or merely changed its appearance? Harrison himself has risen again, now heading the customer experience department, his former arrogance replaced by thoughtful consideration. His transformation appears genuine, yet Sophia sometimes catches a calculating look in his eyes during strategy discussions. Is he changed, or simply more careful about revealing his true nature? These questions follow Sophia as she walks through the empty office building late one evening. The cleaning crew has finished for the night, leaving only security personnel at their stations. She enters her office, removes her blazer, and does something unexpected. She begins cleaning her own space. She wipes down surfaces, reorganizes files, empties her own trash bin. The action is methodical, intentional, almost meditative. Is this genuine humility, an inability to fully embrace her position, or a ritual connecting her to her parents' legacy? The truth remains deliberately unclear. The core question haunts her still: how do we break cycles of humiliation without becoming what we despise? Perhaps the answer isn't in permanent resolution but in constant vigilance, the willingness to question one's own motives, to recognize power's subtle corruption, to remain connected to where you began even as you transform where you are. As Sophia finishes cleaning, she notices her reflection in the window: CEO, founder, visionary, and daughter of immigrants who cleaned offices just like this one. She touches the glass, her father's words echoing: power reveals, it doesn't change. Maybe the truest test isn't in how we wield power over others, but in how we monitor its effect within ourselves. The transformation of Meridian Technologies continues, incomplete and imperfect, just as human growth always remains a work in progress. If this story challenged your thinking about power, justice, and redemption, please like and share it with someone who might appreciate these questions. Subscribe to Scars and Stars for more stories that explore the complicated paths we walk when trying to create meaningful change. Comment below with your thoughts. Can cycles of humiliation truly be broken, or do they simply take new forms? Your perspective enriches this conversation. Join our community of thinkers who refuse simple answers to complex human questions.